Sometimes in the world of paintball, we feel wronged. Sometimes it's the other person's fault. Sometimes it's actually our fault. But often the truth lies somewhere in the middle, between two people. Not just with the one. It's a lot like Indiana Jones said in the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Archaeology is the search for fact, not truth.
That's why I endeavor to bring you the truth behind paintball.
So how did you feel about the X7 owner group comments on your Pod Thieves thread?
No way! There's no way those guys could post that stuff about my show! Everybody loves the snarky show!
The first of the 5 stages of grief is denial. In denial, the subject refuses to acknowledge the event. You may have experienced this yourself at some point, seeing a player cheat during a game. However, an important thing to note about the 5 stages of grief is that they don't always flow in the proper order and can vary in duration, frequency, and order before the 5th stage is reached.
Why do those guys post their stuff? I hate them! They're trolls! I hate them so much!
The 2nd stage is anger. It soon follows denial. We've all seen this person at the field before. You're hit! You're hit! Get off the field! Or if we're perusing an internet forum, it's easy to get angry at someone else for criticizing what we said. Thus continues the 5 stages of the Kubler-Ross model.
Okay, maybe if I make some changes, maybe then they'll like me. Please? Maybe then they'll like me.
In an attempt to stave off the situation in hand, we now enter bargaining, the tool of unions the world over. Oftentimes on the paintball field no such opportunity arises, yet bargaining is still the 3rd stage of grief. Stage 4. Depression. Probably the worst time of grief. It's when we hit depression. This is when the action of others can really get the best of us and break us down into a blubbering mess.
Well, I guess I gotta accept it. You can't please some people. I just gotta move on with my life and not worry about these things. I think now I have learned to accept things, and I can move on, and I don't need to go through this grieving process again. I'm good.
Eventually, we reach acceptance. Whatever is going to happen, will happen. We can't change other people's opinions. A big part of reaching acceptance is learning how to ignore people. It's in our interest to ignore comments that we don't like, so that we can continue to be productive and do the things that we do want to do. Like, say, make the snarky show. Like making paintball videos, I routinely ignore negative comments online. Not that I, Stripey, ever get negative comments. In fact, if you ever said anything bad about this show, chances are I ignored it, because it's not worth the time for me to think about. In summary, it's important to know how to identify the 5 stages of grief, sometimes expanded into the 7 stages of grief. Not so much to control or avoid these emotions, but rather to simply understand how far through grieving we are. It's no good trying to accept things when you are still angry. Anger is anger, and acceptance is acceptance. Snarky would never admit this, but the Snarky Show is sometimes criticized by paintballers. Sometimes it's because we produce a show that is vastly different from what people expect. Other times it's because people are just jackasses who don't know the definitions of words like farce, paradoxical, and satirical. We are not the same as Tech PB or Social Paintball. We will never be like these shows, and we will never do the same shows that they do. A lot of videographers try to stand out, but we really are different. So when you feel that somebody has wronged you, look for ways to move yourself to acceptance. Because developing a thick skin and letting go of things that you can't control is the secret to living a happier life. So, Snarky, have you learned to identify the stages of grief? Are you now able to let go?
Yes, Stripey! I know I will not let things get out of control. I can move on.
Good. Hey, take a look at this YouTube comment. It says you're a puppet.